Good morning. It is now Monday, June 13th, I believe. Yes, Monday, June 13th. And I am going to finally start Pet Sematary, and I'm very excited about it. So, let's go. I just got to chapter 11, which is page 52. I'm not very far into it, so nothing really exciting has happened yet. There has been quite a lot of commentary on death and whether death is a normal part of life. The wife, Rachel, is kind of getting on my nerves just a little bit, but I mean, I kind of understand if she had a sister that died tragically. I mean, I get that. I just have this really bad feeling that their cat is going to die. Like, I don't have the cover with the cat on it, but there is a cover of this book with the cat, like the creepy cat, and I'm pretty sure like an evil cat is a part, like a big part of the scary aspects. I don't know for sure. I really don't know anything about this book except that there is a pet cemetery and that it's supposed to be one of his scariest books that he's ever written. So that'll be interesting for me. I'm hoping that today I can get at least to page 100 because I'm just trying, I want to get to a point where I'm sucked in and I'm hooked and I can't put it down. That's what I'm waiting for. Right now, I'm not there yet, but like I said, I'm only this far into it. So I still have quite a bit of ways to go. So I won't get to read much more today. In about an hour, I have to leave to pick up my friend and take her to the airport. But the airport that I'm taking her to is about 2 hours away. So I won't be able to read it anymore today, but I'm hoping to read some tonight when I get back. Good morning. Oh, okay. Rolling away. It's now Tuesday, July 14th. The days are all running together. But I did read some more of Pet Sematary last night. Not much more. I read about 30 pages. I didn't get back from dropping my friend off until almost 7 o'clock, and then I ate dinner, and I was just so exhausted. I went to bed like right at 9 o'clock last night. So I only read about 30 more pages, but we did get some exciting things happening. We had Victor Pasco. We also had a dream. So I just actually ended on the dream where Victor came to Lewis, our main character, and brought him up to the pet cemetery and like warned him about going up there and like that he should stay away. And I felt like this is probably going to get me a little bit of like hate or whatever, but I felt like that was a little bit cliche. Saying that, I know it's kind of weird considering this book was written in '83, so probably wasn't cliche at that point in time. But it was one of those, was like a dream that wasn't actually a dream, but then was it a dream? Like, we don't know. I'm gonna go and read some more of Salem's Lot, and hopefully I can knock out a big chunk of it today because I don't have to do anything. Good morning. It is now Wednesday, Tuesday. Hold on. It is now Wednesday, July 15th. I did end up reading quite a bit of Pet Sematary last night. I am over halfway now. I just started part 2. And I'm kind of at a loss for words. The cat, Church, who I thought was gonna die, I was so sure was gonna die, died. And then Church came back alive. I don't know why I should have realized that, considering the cover of most books is like an evil cat. At that point, I really expected like all of the horror and scary, creepy things to start happening. And some stuff did start happening. Like, we have Church is like getting increasingly weird, and like he's killing bigger and bigger animals, and he's like starting to hiss at the family more, or at least at Lewis. However, I do have to say, from the way that Lewis treats the cat, like if I was treated that way, I would not like you either. So I feel like part of the reason Church is acting the way he is because Lewis kicks him and throws him and hits him with things. Like, just saying. We've had a lot of sad moments. I actually had to put the book down last night because it was like almost midnight, or right at midnight, and I started crying. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep because Gage, the little boy, his youngest son, died, was hit by an Oringo truck, and was apparently dragged 50 yards by the truck before the truck stopped. Like, I did not expect this book to make me cry. I expected to be terrified. But since I am finally at part 2 and over halfway, I expect the horror to start any moment now. It's currently 9:50 at night. I have less than 100 pages left of Pet Sematary. It's getting really good. So I thought I would like film me reading the last little bit so you get my reactions. Okay, we just finished Pet Sematary, and we need to have a discussion because that ending, like, what? So, Gage dies, and then Stephen King had the gall to have a whole chapter that was like, oh, actually, that was all in his head. Gage didn't actually die. That was just what, like, he just saw his life flash before his eyes if he had died. And then the next chapter was like, but actually, no, that was just a dream. So that was cruel and unusual. But, okay, so Gage dies. And then, of course, Lewis, his dad, is like, I obviously have to bury him in the Micmac burial ground and bring him back to life. Like, and he goes through all of this logic as to why it would be different from the stories that Jude tells him. And I think this does really well, has really good commentary on grief and how to deal with the loss of a loved one. Like, I'm trying to think. I literally stopped for a little bit and thought, if I don't have any children, but if like my mom or dad died and I knew of a place that I could bury them to bring them back to life, like, would I do that? Honestly, I want to say no, mainly because I believe in God and I believe in heaven and I would want them both to be up there. But, you know, grief is a really powerful thing, and it's just interesting to see his thought process and how he tries to talk himself out of it, but then ultimately he can't, and he ends up burying Gage in the Micmac burial ground. And of course, Gage comes back to life. And then this part was really interesting to me because the way I imagine it is that there is this force or this being that the Micmacs called the, oh gosh, I'm never gonna remember. Wendigo, I think is what it was called. So like, it's just this one being, and then when something comes back to life, like a part of that being is usually in an animal. But when a human comes back to life, then that being can just take over the body of the human. That's what I think it is. I don't think it's actually like the specific pet or the specific person coming back to life. It's this supernatural being that's just taking control of their body and using it to like live. That's how I imagined it from like the ending that I read. And then, of course, this being using Gage's body kills Jude. And oh my, I know you saw my reaction to that one because I love Jude. And he's just like, oh, we're just going to stab him. Done. He's dead. And I'm just like, what? And then, of course, Rachel, Lewis's wife, comes because Ellie, their daughter, has all of these nightmares, which are basically like, she sees what's going to happen before they happen. So I don't really know how like the prophetic dreams come into play, but that's definitely a thing. Like Lewis had it with Victor, but Ellie had it quite pretty much with everything that happened. She's had a dream about it before it happened. So she saw her dad dying, and then she saw Gage and Church, the cat, and then I think she saw Jude die as well as her mom. Rachel decides to come back and check on Lewis. She sees Gage, and what I think happened was that she saw Jude was dead, but then she saw Gage and instantly was like in mother mode and went to hug him, and then while she was hugging him, he stabbed her. And so Lewis actually found her body in Jude's house, and they were both dead. So Lewis's plan, like what he does, first of all, he kills Church and Gage, and then he burns the house down, but takes Rachel up and buries her in the Micmac burial ground. Because obviously he hasn't learned his lesson already. I loved the last like 70 pages, was fantastic. It was like reading a thriller, to be honest. And then after he buries her, we get an epilogue that is one page, not even a whole page. It's like half a page. And he's playing cards with himself. Or it talks about the police questioned him, and then he's playing cards with himself, and then Rachel just comes up, and that's the end. So we don't know. We don't know what happened to Ellie. We don't know what happened to Rachel, if she's evil, which I'm assuming she is, because my theory is that the person doesn't come back to life, just their bodies do, and then this being takes over their bodies. If you've read this book, you should tell me what you think. What am I going to rate this? This is a hard one for me because it wasn't at all what I expected. Considering it's called Pet Sematary, and we didn't even really have any evil pets. I 100% expected evil pets. I don't know my full rating yet, so I'm gonna have to think about this one for a while. That's it. The video is done. I read the book. I'm so proud, happy that I've read the book. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. I definitely had a lot of fun making it, and I'm gonna try to do more spoiler-filled, thought-filled reading vlogs. I think I'm gonna try to do one a month. Just pick one of my reads for that month and do a video. As always, I hope you get all the words, and happy reading. Bye. Now I have to go to sleep. That's gonna be fun.